I mean, look at Burberry.
Jeez, that's a whole different conversation.
Mate, I went to the outlet today. Insane.
Yeah, Vista Village and the outlet, everything has been going crazy with Burberry.
In the outlet, everyone's fine. I got a fucking runway bag that I've been waiting for since the start of season for £250.
What, from Burberry?
Yeah, it's a £3,000 bag.
I mean, it's £3,000
Retail.
when retail when they decided to price things stupidly.
Yeah,
So to be fair, it's a price correct anyway.
yeah, exactly. But we were talking about this in the car, me and my mum, and she bought some stuff, and she was like, to be honest, I can understand why this didn't sell, because she was like, why is this scarf £1,000? And she was like, I don't think anybody's going to buy £1,000 scarf from Burberry. They're going to buy a £250 scarf from Burberry.
No, I think it's relevant because we're talking about now pricing and like business and why a lot of these brands fail. I don't understand why the CEO of Burberry, like former CEO, not the current one, didn't understand all these things. Like, I mean, I said it way before that the pricing doesn't make sense. Almost everyone said it. The customers said it. Like, how out of touch do you think that CEO was that they couldn't see what literally everyone could see in plain daylight?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the quality's amazing, I have to say, but
Oh no, it is. It is. That is definitely something I can say. Like everyone that's picked up pieces. I was in Antwerp recently, and someone that I was with was wearing a lot of like Burberry that they had gotten recently from an outlet, and the quality was really good. Like Daniel
insane.
Lee runway stuff. It was really really good.
Like I picked up a jumper today, which is a 80% mohair, 10% cashmere, 5% elastin, and then something else. It's like a transparent like knit thing. I was like, this is actually insane quality. I haven't seen quality like this in years. It wasn't worth £850 when it came out.
Right.
Last thing I'll say on Burberry as well is that apparently Daniel Lee's gone.
I've heard that actually.
I found out the other day
Yeah,
because he's
I've
back on
I've heard about
Hinge.
that. Wait, what?
He's
Is
back on
that an
Hinge.
indicator that he's leaving Burberry?
Nah, I think
Being
he's
back
actually
on
just
Hinge.
gone because they might be cancelling the runway show. That was the
Oh,
indicator, but then I saw him on Hinge.
okay. So I thought he would be on like what's that Raya or something like that.
Yeah, same, but maybe he just wants a normal boy.
Fair.
He doesn't want a little international DJ. Says his ex, who's literally a famous dancer.
Finn comes here and reveals all the tea. I know, right? We always need a dose of Finn.
I know, I've not really got any tea, guys. I've been living under a rock. I haven't left the house this winter.
So everyone was putting their prices up though, so Burberry thought they could jump on a bandwagon. No. So let me tell you what the issue was with
It wasn't
Burberry.
that.
It wasn't that because I feel like they hired Daniel Lee because they, for some reason, got it in their head they can compete with Bottega or increase prices to the level of Bottega. If they just increase prices, like with inflation or like slightly, I don't think anyone would have cared. It's the literally things that used to sell for like 300 overnight were 1,200, like literally overnight when they decided they were going to increase prices. No one like that is what didn't make sense. So increasing prices is like every brand does that, and historically every brand has done that. I mean, Chanel increases prices every single year. That's not the issue. It's
Babes every single
the
week.
rate every single week.
Yeah, the
So
rate
yeah,
of
I think it
impro.
was the rate.
I mean, yeah, like you said, went from being it was 400 quid, all of a sudden it's £1,000. Mad.
It's like just because you hire the designer from Bottega doesn't mean Burberry now turns into Bottega. That's not how that works.
Just because you hired the guy that got fired from Bottega doesn't mean that you're gonna have the.
Can you briefly explain why Bottega's price makes sense coming from a place of curiosity? Because their prices have always been stupidly high. So if a brand is known for having stupidly high prices like Bottega or The Row from when it started, them increasing prices doesn't really mean anything because their customer base is used to that and they probably have a customer base of people that can afford things at that price point anyway. Whereas Burberry wasn't their market. So by increasing prices to Bottega, well, you don't have the Bottega customers because you're not them, and you've alienated the customer base that you do have. So now you're left with no customers, which means you're going to lose money and you're not going to sell, which is exactly what happened. So that's why Bottega's prices make sense. If the prices rose over time as the brand grew and the logo gained a certain prestige, the price increase wouldn't feel so dramatic and sudden. Yeah, that was their main issue. It was just too quick, too soon.
And it wasn't like Daniel Lee's name wasn't a John Galliano. Do you know what I mean?
fact.
It couldn't increase the price that much like they did with Margiela when Galliano went there.
Because it's kind
Right.
of weird. I think. Would you say that Daniel Lee is a big name designer? Like, I wouldn't really say so. I think even though in fashion he's very famous, I'm trying to think outside of fashion, like pop culture wise. I don't think actually people do know who Daniel Lee is because I've heard rappers rap about him, but not
Yeah,
the
but he
amount
was
of
in their
people that.
pants though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Sorry. When he did that Detroit collection.
that's true. But I'm trying to think in general. Like, I don't think the average person knows Daniel Lee like that.
No, and that's the problem is that I think, he did incredibly well at Bottega very quickly, made a lot of money for them, made it modern, if we're being honest. And then I think it got to his head really quickly. I think it got the industry's head, not just his, by the way.
I think he did a sensational job at Bottega though, so I don't
So
blame
do
him.
I. So do I.
Like if I if I did all that good work at Bottega, I probably would have an ego the size of Lagos. No, I'm joking. I probably wouldn't, but maybe.
Just
you
a
know.
Buja. No, I think, but in all honesty, I think if he had done a bit longer at Bottega and maybe did like a 7-year stint or something, then I think maybe Burberry could have done what they did and like a bit of a price jump because he would have been like
Yeah.
famous for the guy that made Bottega look, cool again, sort of thing.
Yeah, why I was asking like with the big names is because like when I think of big name designers, I think of designers that when they go to a house, they bring a whole customer base, like Eddie
Riccardo
Slimane,
Tisci.
Phoebe Philo. I'm trying to think who else is in that realm. I think Alessandra Michele is in that realm too. There's a few. There aren't too many. So I think they kind of overestimated his ability to kind of bring an audience. Maybe that's why they thought they could charge Bottega prices because they thought
Kim Jones?
he would bring some of the customer base. Kim Jones. So the thing about Kim Jones, he's a bit of a weird one where Kim Jones is a big name designer. I would put him amongst those names. But I don't necessarily think that he could go to a brand and bring a whole customer base there. I don't think so.
You don't think he did that with LV, then to Dior?
No, because I kind of think it's kind of like the same customer. It's kind of like
Real.
a similar customer, similar price point. I don't think so. I think it's kind of like one in the same. For that to be proven, he would have to go to a brand at very different price point, that kind of stuff.
Like Fendi, and then it failed.
Well, exactly. So if anything, that
disprove
shows
my
that
own
he's
point.
yeah. What Leo is saying, okay, Daniel Lee is an important name inside of fashion. Oh no, 100%. But once again, when it comes to making money, especially for these big houses, it's not about if you're a big name in fashion, because most people that buy your clothing don't care about fashion. Like, they don't know the names of creative directors and all that sort of stuff. So if you're so big and larger than life that people actually know your name, that can only be a plus. You have to think of who is popular in the mainstream, because those are the people that really move the needle when it comes to sales figures. Transition from Myers, Bottega Veneta to Lee's, BV was Stark, far more Stark than Lee's to Blasi's. Oh, 100%. I agree with you there. That's definitely facts. I think, if anything, Matteo Blasi's Bottega was a seamless transition from Daniel Lee's. But it's because they are working closely together anyway, so it makes sense why it would be so seamless. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.